Hello, this is Sabrina. Today I'm going to be sharing my June pages for my daily journal. I think some of the pages turned out wonderful, and some of them had a few problems that you probably won't notice, but I certainly do. And that happens to a lot of us, I think. We're critical of our art or our journals or something in our life, and other people won't notice. It's just wanting to be perfectionist or doing it right that drives us to thinking, oh, that doesn't look very good. But anyways, we'll get to that. So it's getting large. There it is there. It's even right now. We're only halfway through. And this is the front, obviously, and the side has a necklace on it. The back is plain. And if you haven't joined me before, oopsie, let's not, you need to get out of the way a little bit there, will not crush you. Excuse me. I put them in by elastic. And I've done May and June in this one. So I'm going to take this one out so it's easier. I'm trying to figure out if it'll lay flat for you. We'll make it work. So I usually start with a page here on every single one that is from a watercolor book. And I've been taking the pages out. It was a demonstration watercolor book by Claudia Nice, Painting with Watercolor, Pen and Ink. So I'm sorry, Claudia, but I can use them and appreciate them much more this way. Maybe you feel that way about some things you do. And this was just a memory of something that I did back last year for a journal. And that's how I sort of decorate these pages, maybe just a little bit. So let's flip to June. Hello, where are you, June, May? I have a tab, there it is. All right, so this was a nasturtium and fern imprint that I made on some watercolor paper, and I went ahead and cut it out and just attached it in here. This is from a calligraphy book, and sometimes I use scraps to write on. Sometimes I just write directly on it, like here. And this is a stamp. And this is a cutout from some scrap paper. We're in the peach season in Georgia, and so I just was celebrating that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do about 2 days per page. Depending on how the month turns out, sometimes I'd have to do 3. But June has 30 days, so I think it worked out even there. And words are your wand. They cast a spell into the world. That was important to me at that time, learning that phrase and understanding it. And I just have 5 and 6 here. This is something that my father did. He's since passed away, and I put some of his artwork in here, and I just take a colored pencil and color it in a little bit. So his date's 98, and my date's 26, the year. This is, as I showed in May, this is a pastel that I did. as a prelude to a painting that I never did get to. But there it is. I thought I'd use it instead of it just sitting in a closet. And I had to cut off some pieces, and I used them in different places in the journal. Oh, we have thunder going on. And this is something that reminds me of my father, the dragon. He was into Chinese, the year of the dragon, things like that. And this is the back side of that paper. Just did some calligraphy here on some little tabs that I made. And then instead of writing on the artwork, I just went ahead and used the scrap pieces. I also have the moon cycle of each day. And I used a stencil here, and this was pretty long and I wanted to get it right, so I went ahead and typed it out and just printed it out on my printer. It's my favorite color and I wanted to put that in there. And this was a drawing that I did. I colored it in with colored pencil recently. And it was just, like I said, sitting in a closet, so I went ahead and took it out and ripped it out of the piece of paper and used it in here. This is some, I think another nasturtium that was imprinted on there. This is from a calligraphy book. I just took it out. Instead of that going to waste, I thought I'd use it in here, and some scrapbook paper and some stamping and just some little pieces, scrap pieces. This is from a flower book, and I just cut out the flowers and use them on here. An old, when I was 3 years old, about 3.5 here. Looking at my sunflower, I think there was a bug on there, and I guess that annoyed me by the looks on my face. And there was some sunflowers that were growing. And some washi tape and just a scrap here and a scrap here. The other side of that flower. And the first day of summer, so the summer solstice. Another piece of that flower, and then I'm just writing my journaling about what's special on those days. And this is a page that I alluded to that I don't like. I was having some trouble with my fountain pens. I've since purchased one, and I was having trouble, and they were just bleeding on the page, and anyways, I wasn't happy. And I'm sure it doesn't look wrong to you, but to me, I see the errors. Calligraphy that I did a long time ago. I ran across it, so I ripped it out and put it in here. A fern from my property. These are also ferns from my property, but the roses are not. And I did some stenciling. If you can see it back there, some gold stenciling. And then I put a thin, I think it was a tea bag or a napkin. I think it's a tea bag, yeah. On here, and did Mod Podge. And I guess a lot was going on. This is the day the bears were on my porch, and they knocked down my hummingbird feeder. More of that later. This was another page that I feel like I messed up. I was trying to spray just a raspberry colored spray and kind of have it in the background of the blackberries after I'd put a blackberry here. And it just went squirt all over the place. So I tried to clean some of it up, but it didn't work. It ended up bleeding on here. And I ended up stenciling on top of it and doing a little painting on top of the blackberry so you could see what it was. And then the blackberries are on this side, because that's what season it is right now. Here are my blackberries. They're pretty small because they're natural. They're not like the store ones that are on, I don't know, something they put them on so that they get much bigger. And I had talked about my fountain pen, so I wrote about that and used my new fountain pen with a sheen glimmer ink here. And here are the bears that came onto my porch right here, actually. He knocked down the hummingbird feeder and he's looking at it, she. This is an older bear here. I don't think it's the mother. And the other bear, I think, was headed up the tree. as I was coming outside. There it is, looking again at what it did. They're pretty small. And then this is my neighbor's vehicle. He likes to keep food and trash in his car, so of course the bears are attracted to it and try and rip off his door handles and crawl all over his vehicle. And in this shed, I think this was after they destroyed it. Yeah, they destroyed it here. Some people that don't actually live here but come here on weekends adopted a cat, and they have a neighbor feeding the cat and letting the cat in and out, and they store the cat food and other foods in the shed, and the bears discovered this, so they tore up the shed, and along with opossums and raccoons that get in there. This day, after this picture was taken, they were crawling. The larger one was on top of the roof. So I keep my hummingbird feeder down, and they don't come up here anymore. I try to take care of that. People need to be careful and not try to intentionally bait bears, but I live in the mountains, and that's what happens. We have bears. So there are all the pages. I think some of them turned out really good. I like this whole setup. I like well, these are my favorite colors, so this one was a good way of displaying my artwork. And this was kind of different layout for me. And then I wanted to incorporate what was going on, you know, the peaches and the blackberries. And now I'm on to July, and I just started working on that. So anyways, I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and thank you for joining me, and hopefully you have some inspiration, and maybe you can do a daily journal. If you do one, you can add in your artwork or any sort of scraps or memorabilia you have laying around, and that way you can look at it on and off when you go to open your journal, and remember, instead of having it stuffed in a drawer or someplace like that and never appreciate it. So have a good day, and thank you.